it's changed my life, which
Wow.
sounds really over the top, but it really, really has.
So I'm with Kath today, who has got a fantastic story to tell about some work we did together. And Kath, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this session. It's these sessions are just, so useful. The things we say today, someone's going to hear them, someone's going to hear something you say, and I'm hoping that's going to inspire them to, pick up the phone and make a change as well. So thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
So let's start by, can you tell me what the problem was? What issues were you having and how was that affecting you?
Right. So, my biggest issue was I had, I should say, a huge spider phobia.
Mhm.
Now, to most people, it's just they don't like them. But to me, it was really debilitating. I couldn't be in a room with them. Um,
Mhm.
it progressively got worse over time, where I was very anxious and shocked. I was very conscious if I opened a window, um, sellotaping hoovers shut if I did manage to catch them. So it was really, really debilitating. It was really having an impact on my life, to be honest.
Mhm.
And I would do ceiling checks every single day, multiple times, as though that they were
Mhm.
always in my house. So it was
Yeah.
quite a huge fear that I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how is it affecting your relationship with like other family members as well? Like your daughter or
Well, there's always that thing that you don't want to pass a fear on,
Mhm.
but I couldn't really hide it from her. So it was a case of she was getting a little bit more scared of them, and I really didn't want to pass that on to her. Um, so it was sort of us versus the spiders, really. Wasn't a happy place to be. Let's just say that.
Okay. And I remember you saying it was you were worried about a move coming up.
Yeah. So, looking at sort of future changes, potential house moves in the future, I
Mhm.
was already starting to think, oh, is it too green? I love a
Mhm.
garden space, but there'll be more spiders coming in.
Mhm.
Worried about going camping. It was just dominating my thoughts too much.
Mhm.
Um, so it was impacting quite a lot of areas of my life,
Yeah.
really.
And what happened when you would see a spider in the house, or like how would you feel, or how would you react?
Um, I'd be absolutely in shock. I wouldn't know what to do. I would freeze, be hysterical if they moved. I wouldn't know what to do next. I've been late for work before, shamefully. Um, I've had to ring people to come to my rescue, which is really embarrassing.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just been really fearful. I've almost hyperventilating if I've seen
Yeah.
them. Not really being a sort of a natural reaction to
Hmm.
seeing them. If they've been in my space, I've been absolutely petrified.
Hmm. Yeah. It was a big. It was you
Yeah.
could when we were talking, I could really see
Yeah.
the impact it was having on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
think
was.
even when I was describing those moments to you in the
Yeah.
initial stages, I remember crying my eyes out and thinking, why am I crying?
Mm,
I just it was it was just really life limiting, I would say. It was awful.
yeah. So, what surprised you most about the work that we did together?
What surprised me? I would say I just felt like I was sitting, relaxing, having a chat. And
Hmm.
the next day, I was totally different. So
Wow.
it's just remarkable that just sitting, having a chat, how
Hmm.
I suppose strong the subconscious mind was. I just turned up and you did all your magic.
Well, you did the hard work. So,
But I feel as though I had the most relaxing experience in a sort
hmm.
of safe place, and it's changed my life, which
Wow.
sounds really over the top, but it really, really has. So
Yeah.
thank you.
No, no problem. Because we
Yeah,
did a couple of things, didn't we? We used NLP, for the first session, and then we did hypnosis as well, a later session as well. So what were they like to experience?
So with the NLP,
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple of really horrendous memories that we discussed. Um, and I remember feeling instantly calmer after we'd had the session.
Mm-hmm.
To the point now that I can recall those memories in my mind with ease, and I don't really have any attachment to them. It's like I'm
Fantastic.
hearing somebody else's story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it really doesn't have the same impact. And those memories have been since I was sort of a child
Yeah.
with spiders, where I've taken them with me every single, part of my life, and I've constantly thought about them. And now I'm just
Yeah.
it's not bothered.
That's fantastic.
Amazing.
And how
And
was the hip?
oh, that was the
Yes.
best of my life. Even though I wasn't sleeping, I really wasn't asleep, but I felt so relaxed. That was amazing. It was bizarre in the way that I felt as though I was in control and I knew what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
The effects afterwards, it's progressively just got better.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember that first email you sent me after of like about poor Tim, Tim the spider.
Oh my, well, I've started calling them names, which is quite alarming. I've become like, I've got bouncers in the hallway called Bob and such a body. I'm just walking past them. Hi, Bob. It's like, what's going on? Um, yeah, I think my first experience with a spider that we called Tim. I was desperate to try and get rid of him, without hurting him, and then my phone landed on him. So I think it was a disaster, but I did try. But it's just the fact that I'm able to handle these situations.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that the very next day you were able to put Tim on a tissue and
Yeah.
transport him across the room was just amazing, and just calmly as well. I was
Yeah.
so impressed, so
And
impressed. So
it's
yeah,
become a little bit of a thing that I now call them names.
yeah.
Um, and I
And
talk to them.
that's fine. Well, what I'll probably do here is I'll cut in that video you sent me of putting the glass over the spider and getting the
I
paper
can't.
underneath, which you could not do before. You were
No,
saying you couldn't do before.
I have never in my life been able
Yeah.
to go near one
And then
like
you were
that.
just chatting to him. What is like you call him a little lad?
A little lad. I can't see where you've gone. Come on. Good lad. I mean, I was literally I was away with some friends of mine, and
Yeah.
I saw it straight away, and then without a doubt just grabbed a glass. And I've attempted this before years ago, and I've not even got near them, and I've just dropped the glass on the floor in fear. So
Mm-hmm.
the fact that I was like essentially using someone else's glass that I could have smashed, I was just like, yeah, yeah, you know, um,
Perfect.
it was more of an annoyance,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, than anything of just having to get rid of it.
But yes, but I think when we set our goals at the start, we talked about what you wanted to get out of it, didn't we? And we were saying it's not like you want to go and set up a tarantula farm and become that's not your life ambition. It's just when you see one, you just wanted to be able to
Yeah.
pick it up and remove it from the environment, just and feel calm, just like any other chore that's like, oh, I've got to clean up this thing that's spilt, just and that's where we were aiming for.
Yeah. And I
So
think the biggest thing for me was I didn't want to harm them.
yeah.
And I shamefully admit that it was becoming a little bit like, well, it's me or them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
And it was a case of, I mean, even my daughter's had to try and get rid of them before now, and she's 9, 10.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that I've been able to get near it, and spend time there. Even, I mean, the glass magnified it, and that did not bother me.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
you know, it was more annoying that it wouldn't run into the glass. It
Hmm.
was like, run at me, and that would have never have happened. So it's fantastic.
That's cool. So, what would you say was the best bit about working together?
The best bit, I would say seeing such a change so quickly.
Hmm.
Um, I feel that it was just like coming and having a chat.
Yeah.
I don't feel as though it was sort of a clinical environment. It was
Yeah.
very much you put me at ease, so thank you for that. I was able to open up
Hmm.
um, and be sort of my raw self with you. I felt
Yeah.
really comfortable, I would say.
That's brilliant.
And I had a great night's sleep at the end of it.
That's always oh, fantastic. So, yeah, and like I think we just touching on what you said earlier about what it's like being in hypnosis. It's you're in control. You know what's going on. It's um, and I think a lot of people, if they've not experienced it before, might think it's something strange and unusual, but
It
it's.
felt really natural. It felt
Hmm.
like sort of a little meditation where I just
Hmm.
felt so relaxed and
Hmm.
feel as though change was sort of happening and
Hmm.
it progressively, instantly, the next day I saw changes and then progressively over the following sort of week uh,
Hmm.
two, it was just such profound change.
That's fabulous.
Thank you.
So, what would you say to the biggest skeptic, like the person who's like, "Oh,
Oh, you've got nothing to lose.
yeah,
Absolutely nothing to lose. And a lot to gain from it.
hmm,
I think for myself, I nothing else was working for me. Um, sort of shock therapy was really the wrong thing to do, you know.
wow,
Um, so for me, it's why not try it? Because for me, it's
yeah,
changed my life instantly. So
wonderful."
thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your, kind words. I'm just so delighted to see the progress that you've made, and the big smile says it all. Just,
I
it's been
know.
great, and you were fantastic to work with as well. We had such a laugh together.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just, yeah, it was just really good. So again, thank you very much. If you, like Kath, have a phobia you want to be free from, book a free discovery call through my website, nicolaeveling.com.